Okay, good afternoon, everybody.
So we've been talking about edema disease, so we're going to start doing a quick review about the disease. Edema disease, as well as some of you already know, is caused by a E. coli bacteria, which is called perotoxin E. coli, that has the capacity of adheses to the surface of the small intestine and generate a toxin called verotoxin. So unlike other types of E. coli that remains in the intestine, the problem that these bacteria cause is the verotoxins are transported to the blood circulation. So the E. coli is ingested by the animal, they colonize the small intestine, they replicate and start producing the verotoxin, and this verotoxin is transported into the blood circulation. So it's there when it's spread in all the blood circulation, when they cause the damage, like degenerative angiopathy, increase the vascular permeability, and in consequence, all the symptoms that the edema disease has. One important thing to take into consideration is that the edema disease is dose-dependent on the verotoxin. So we could have high levels of verotoxin or low levels of verotoxin. In case we have high levels of verotoxin, we normally have clinical presentation, mainly in nursery, the typical presentation, but in case the levels are not that high, we have subclinical presentation that it happens mainly in fattening. So we could have the typical clinical presentation with sudden deaths, edemas, which is easily recognized. We could have also a chronic presentation after the recovery of a clinical presentation with decrease in growing rate, progressive weakness, nervous symptoms, but also we could have subclinical presentation with low growth performance parameters, and the problem with this presentation is we don't have clinical signs, so it's not easily identified. So the problem is that the negative economic impact of subclinical disease is usually underestimated in the farms. So it could happen. We could be losing money and we don't know about it. And the only way to know about this and to solve this problem is data. If we don't know nothing about data, we have our eyes blind. Okay. So for control these edema disease problems in both cases, clinical and subclinical, we perform hipravepured. Hipravepured is based on a recombinant verotoxin, which is attenuated by molecular biology. It means that we have the real verotoxin. We do 2 amino acid modifications, so we keep the same structure than the native, but non-toxic. It means that we have an item that is very specific to generate immunity against edema disease. In addition, this is the way that it works. So the antibodies neutralize the toxin here in the blood circulation, so there's no capillary affection where all the problems start. So we have healthy piglets protected against edema disease. In addition, hipravepured is a purified vaccine. It means that we eliminate the rest of the toxins and we keep only the important things. So we have a less side effects. For example, we don't have increase of temperature, and we maximize the concentration of effective antigen. So we have more efficacy and more safety. But let's see a video about how this purification works.
첫 번째 단계로 베로독소 단백질 생산과 관련된 유전자를 편집하여 병원성이 완전히 제거된 합성 DNA를 만듭니다. 합성 DNA를 플라스미드에 삽입하여 생산용 대장균을 통해 다량의 제조합 베로독소 단백질을 생산합니다. 제조와 베로독소 생산 과정에서 대장균의 다른 구성 성분이 포함되게 됩니다. 이를 제거하고 제조와 베로독소만을 분리하기 위해 정제 공정을 거치게 됩니다. 고순도 정제를 통해 방어 면역 형성에 필요 없는 성분을 제거하고 면역 시스템에서 불필요한 에너지를 소비하지 않도록 합니다. 이러한 제조 과정을 통해 생산된 히프라비퓨어는 유일한 고순도, 고함량의 제조와 베로독소 백신으로 돼지부종병에 대한 확실한 예방 효과를 제공합니다.
Okay, so last but not least, Vipure is a purified recombinant verotoxin, but an important role in every vaccine is the adjuvant. So we add a combination of aluminum hydroxide and DEAE dextran to have a perfect balance between safety and powerful humoral immune response. So in conclusion, we have these three factors: recombination, purification, and adjuvant, to have a vaccine that is applied in one single dose from a very early age, at 2 days old, and has an onset of immunity of 20 days after vaccination, and we can cover all the fattening period, all the risk period for edema disease. So we can prevent mortality and reduce clinical signs, but we are the only vaccine with registered efficacy on improving growth rate until slaughter in both the worldwide SPC, but also in the Korean one. So Vipure is a safe vaccine that controls edema disease and prevent mortality. And prevent mortality means that we have 0% risk of mortality of edema disease and reduce clinical signs even in presence of MDAs. Also, we demonstrated return of investment in both clinical and subclinical edema disease presentations. 감사합니다.